Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone and welcome to our today's lesson. Today inshallah we are going to cover the following, which is Unit 6, Lesson 1, page 82, which is listen and discuss. Let's go first over the previous lesson, which is the form, meaning and function. We'll do a quick revision for what we have learned yesterday, and then inshallah we are going to follow our job. As you see here, we have this part which is future will or be going to. If you still remember, guys, we discussed this in details in the previous lesson. Today inshallah we will go over them, and of course we'll have some examples. We said that the future will and be going to used to actually show that we are predicting something, okay? We are, for example, planning to something that is going to happen in the future. So if we go over the tense here, or the structure, we have will and going to. Of course, be going to, as you see here, we have the verb be, and of course be is one of the most important verbs and verbs groups in English, which is actually am as are. So this is actually what we are going to use in this tense. As you see here, we have this definition, which is actually use will or be going to make predictions about the future. Of course, we can use the future will and be going to through different levels. The first level is actually questions, and the second one is answers, specifically opinions. We'll have some examples here. As you see here, will people speak Arabic? And of course, are we going to learn Chinese at school? As you see here, we have the answers. I guess so. I don't think so. I think so. I hope so. I hope not. And of course here we'll talk about will versus be going to. We use will to make an on the spot of request or decision. Use be going to express plan that is already made or decided. So we can also be will, future will and be going to plan for something. Imagine that you are in the last stage of your studying, and of course you are planning to do something. For example, am or I will, for example, study English in the university. Someone else said, I plan or I will, for example, plan to study aviation in the United States of America, and so on. So this is actually very important. And of course here we have an example, which is Ali is going to have his work professionally translated, but I can't afford it. I'll translate it using machine translation software on the internet. If you look here, guys, you can find that the verb after will and going to is a verb in its base form. So this is very important to look at this, because sometimes we do mistakes, okay, when we use the structure here. Of course, here we have what we call future progressive. It's actually very important, and of course it's one of the most important structures. As you see here, this is actually the form of this structure, which is we use the future progressive, will plus be and present participle. If you still remember, guys, we discussed this in one of our previous lessons, which is actually the present participle, okay, we discussed this. So actually here it's actually linked with the future. And of course, it's the same with going to plus be and present participle. Of course, we can use this structure through affirmative and questions, okay? You know what we mean by affirmative? Of course, it's a sentence like this, which is actually in its base form, okay? And of course, here we have questions. We have some examples here. As you see here, we have be plus working, and of course here we have going to plus be plus verb and ing. Of course here we can use it on the level of answers and on the level of negative answers. We also got something called conditional sentences or conditional sentences with if clause. Of course, it specifically works with imaginary situations, okay? We use the if clause, okay, with the imaginary situations. And of course, we discussed that a clause is something or a sentence that actually consists of subject, verb, object. And of course, we have another sentence which is actually consists of the same. Of course here, okay, we have the if sentence or the if clause, which is actually in the past tense. So you have to concentrate on this, guys. And of course, finally, we have this part, which is wish if only for unreal situations. So we can use wish plus if, okay, for the unreal situations, okay, for the situations that is unusual or unreal. So we use wish for things you want to happen, but probably will not. So sometimes we wish to something that it happen, okay, but it's not, okay. So we use this tense or this structure with this way. And of course, here we have some examples related to this structure. Here we have something important. Note, was is usually used in informal spoken English with the pronoun I. For example, I wish I was on vacation. For now, guys, we'll go over and we'll begin our today's lesson, which is actually Unit 6. It's very important to go over these questions, okay? And of course, our lesson is listen and discuss. Here we have 2 questions. We'll go over them, and I'd like you to think about them. And of course, it's very important. Talk about the most valuable thing you have ever lost. So as you see through the title of this unit, lost and found. So when we talk about lost and found, of course we are talking about something that we lost, and of course something that we are going to find. So you have to think about this unit through this concept. If we go over these questions, talk about the most valuable thing you have ever lost. Of course, every one of us sometimes losing something. Okay, for example, sometimes you lose your mobile. You lose, for example, your keys. And of course, you are starting to look for them. So we would like to start and begin this unit, okay, by asking some questions related to lost and found. Talk about the most valuable thing you have ever found. Of course, when we have valuable things, okay, and expensive things, of course, we keep them in a secret place, of course, and we don't want others to find them, okay? And of course, whenever we lose them, okay, we are going to find them. For now, guys, this is actually our today's lesson, which is actually listen and discuss. We'll listen to some audios, and I'd like you to read and listen at the same time, because it's very important to link the information and with something that you are listening to. We'll listen now, guys, and after, inshallah, listening, we'll talk a little bit about the information here.
Unit 6, Lost and Found. Pages 82 and 83. 1. Listen and discuss. Amazing lost treasures.
Moctezuma's treasure. Moctezuma II was an Aztec emperor who ruled from 1502 to 1520. This was a time when the Aztecs controlled most of what is now Mexico and Central America. In 1520, the notorious Spanish invader Hernán Cortés kidnapped and killed Moctezuma. Cortés and his men then collected all of Moctezuma's dazzling treasures and tried to escape with them. But the Aztecs, who refused to surrender, caught up with the Spanish and fought them. Cortés and a few of his men escaped empty-handed, but eventually returned to take revenge and to attempt to steal the treasure again. However, the Aztecs hid the treasure somewhere around Lake Texcoco, and Cortés never found it. One of Mexico's former presidents actually drained Lake Texcoco in an attempt to find the treasure, but he failed to find any trace of it. Today it is believed that Moctezuma's treasure is hidden somewhere near Mexico City, but no one knows exactly where.
Okay, guys, after we listen to this audio, we would like to discuss some of the information in here. Of course, this audio actually talking about what we call Moctezuma's treasure. So a treasure is something expensive, something valuable. Okay, no one know where is that place. Okay, for that treasure, and of course here we have Moctezuma. Okay, the second, who actually the Aztec emperor. He was an emperor of the Aztec civilization, which is actually where in the Central of America and Mexico nowadays. And of course, in this part, okay, he led that civilization from 1502 to 1520, and of course there was something, okay, which is very important, which is a treasure, and of course some of the Spanish forces try to fight them, and of course they want to have the treasure, and of course they couldn't. So that's why the Aztecs, okay, tried to refuse, okay, the fighting from the Spanish, okay, which is Curtis, okay, and some of his men. After that, okay, they couldn't to have the treasure, okay. So this is the Spanish, and of course it's actually with the Mexican, which is actually Aztec. One of the Mexican presidents, okay, tried to drain the lake, okay, to for example to try to find, okay, the treasure, and of course he couldn't. So until this day, okay, they are working to find that treasure, and no one found that treasure.
Tutankhamun's treasure. King Tutankhamun of Egypt, the boy pharaoh, succeeded his father to the throne when he was barely 9 or 10 years old. He died in his late teens. According to speculation, he was either assassinated or died of infection after an accident. Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt is the best preserved royal tomb ever discovered. Theodore M. Davis, an American businessman, was the first person to find clues that led to the discovery of the tomb. Howard Carter, an Egyptologist, confirmed upon examining the clues that the tomb lay inside the Valley of the Kings, the royal necropolis of the time. Carter persuaded his friend Carnarvon to finance his search for the tomb. They had nearly given up when they finally noticed some steps buried under an ancient hut leading to the sealed door of the tomb. They dug an opening that allowed entry to the tomb, where they found the most amazing artifacts: gold masks and furniture, stunning jewelry, exquisite paintings in inlaid boxes, and other objects of astonishing beauty and craftsmanship. It took Carter many years of his life to study and record all the findings. Everything was photographed and itemized. King Tut's treasure toured the world for the first time in the 70s. The second tour began in 2004.
Okay, guys, for now we'll discuss the second audio, which is actually related to Tutankhamun's treasure. So Tutankhamun's one of the ancestors of the pharaoh, of course, the old rulers of Egypt. And of course, we'll go over the first part, which is King Tutankhamun of Egypt. The boy pharaoh succeeded his father, okay. So he was 10 or 9 to 10 years, okay, when he was a king. He died in his late teens, according to speculation. He was either assassinated or died of infection after an accident. In this part, we'll discuss the Tutankhamun's tomb, okay, in the Valley of Kings. So we have something, or we have a place which is called the Valley of Kings in Egypt, and the best preserved royal tomb ever discovered. So Theodore M. Davis, an American businessman, so he is the first one who actually tried to discover that place or that area, which is who's actually the American businessman, okay. And of course, he found some clues that led to the discovery of the tomb. Howard Carter, an Egyptologist, confirmed upon examining the clues that the tomb lay inside the Valley of the Kings, the royal necropolis of the time. In this part, of course, we have something related to Carter persuaded his friend Carnarvon to finance his search for the tomb. They had nearly given up when they finally noticed some steps buried under an ancient hut. Of course, they dug an opening that allowed entry to the tomb, where they found the most amazing aircraft. So they found something which is very important in that tomb. We can, for example, say that they found astonishing beauty and craftsmanship, and of course it took Carter many years of his life to study and record all the findings. Everything was photographed and itemized, and of course this is actually about Ammon's treasure. We'll listen now to the Amber Room.
The Amber Room. The Amber Room was a 180 square foot, 17 square meter room whose 4 walls were made of 6 tons of amber, decorated with jewels. The room, which was constructed by Prussian King Friedrich Wilhelm I, took over 8 years to build. It was completed in 1716, at which time it was given to Tsar Peter the Great of the Russian Empire as a gift.
Okay, guys, we listened to the Amber Room, and of course we'll discuss some of the information here. As you see here at this picture, which is actually a luxurious picture, which is related to the Amber Room. The Amber Room was 180 square foot, and of course it's actually built on 4 walls, were made of 6 tons of amber. So amber is something, which is actually built from, decorated with jewels, the room which was constructed by Prussian King Frederick Wilhelm. So this is actually the one who built that room. Actually, it took over 8 years to build. It was completed in 1716, at which time it was given to Tsar Peter the Great of the Russian Empire as a gift. So he gave the Amber Room to the Russian governor, which is actually as a gift. For now, we'll listen to this part, which is actually a completion of what we have listened. Let's listen together, guys.
During World War II, the Nazis found the invaluable room, tore it down, packed it in hundreds of crates, and took it to a destination that has never been discovered. One theory is that it was loaded onto a passenger ship that was sunk by a Soviet submarine. Another possible destination was the Ore Mountains in Germany, where the Amber Room may have been buried in salt mines. The most popular theory, however, is that the Amber Room was hidden in a lost underground shelter somewhere in the city of Königsberg, Germany. The beautiful room has been called the 8th wonder of the world, and historians estimate that its value today would be around $142 million. The search for the Amber Room continues to this day.
Okay, guys, for now we'll discuss some of the completion of the Amber Room. And of course here, we can say that during the Second World War, the Nazis found the invaluable room, and of course they packed in hundreds of crates and took it to the destination, which is actually have been discovered. One theory, so this is one of the theory that actually telling us where is the Amber Room now. So that it was loaded onto a passenger ship that was sunk by a Soviet submarine. Another possible destination was the Ore Mountains in Germany, where the Amber Room may have been buried in salt mines. The most popular theory, which is actually the important part here, however, is that the Amber Room was hidden in a lost underground shelter somewhere in the city of Königsberg, Germany. The beautiful room has been called the eighth wonder of the world, and historians estimate that its value today would be around $142 million. The search for the Amber Room continues to this day. For now, guys, we'll go over the exercise, which is very important. Of course, I'd like you to check the answers, of course. We'll complete each sentence with a word from the box. Of course, here we have some words, and of course, we'll see which one of them suit the gaps in here. Let's do this together, guys. So we should do whatever we can to preserve our historic moments, okay? So this is actually the first answer, which is preserve. I'd like you to think about them all. So the burglars tried to steal the woman's jewelry, but she wouldn't, let's see, surrender without a gift. That's very good, guys. What about number 3? Is that people search for gold not because they want to get rich, but because it is exciting. So this is theory. Number 4, the police were finally able to catch the bank robbers. Let's see, what is it? It's actually notorious, okay? This is very good. Number 5, the explorers found a treasure worth millions of dollars that had been buried for hundreds of years. Very good, guys. What about number 6? Even though Lisa poured and lost her favorite earrings, Beth knew it was an accident, and so she didn't try to get. So what is it? What do you think, guys? It's revenge. The last part here, the collection of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo is, of course, invaluable. Of course, here we have some comprehension questions. I'd like you to answer them together. Let's first read them and then see each one of them. Why didn't Curtis escape with Moctezum's treasure? What did one of the Mexico's former presidents do in an effort to find Moctezum's treasure? Who was Tutankhamun? What is so special about King Tutankhamun's tomb? What is special about the Amber Room? What are 3 theories about the location of the Amber Room? Let's go over them together now, guys. So this is actually the first question. Let's do it together. Of course, because the Aztecs fought Curtis and his men. So this is actually the answer. Number 2. He drained Lake Texcoco. Okay, so he drained Lake Texcoco. And of course, this is number 3, which is he was a king of Egypt. So this is Tutankhamun. And number 4, which is actually, it is the best preserved royal tomb ever discovered. And number 5, let's see together, guys. The Amber Room took 8 years to construct and has been called the 8th wonder of the world. Number 6, let's see together, guys. The Amber Room could have been on a passenger ship that was sunk by a Soviet submarine. It could have been buried in salt mines in the Ur Mountains. It might be hidden in a lost underground shelter in Kaiserberg, Germany. That's all for today, guys. Thank you very much. See you soon.